Alright, we're putting some lipstick on a $2 whore here, I tell ya. So, anyhow, I'm gonna mount my winch there, put a D-ring on it. As you can see, welding everything with sticks. Yeah, I'm using my old Fernie welder from the 40s, works great. So, anyhow, I'm gonna repack the bearings. I'm welding some D-rings on, and give her a coat of Tremclad or Rust-Oleum black, same stuff, and should be good to go. I'm going to have the ramp stand up like that because it's only a 14-foot trailer, so I can still fit my G-bodies on. Should work out alright. But yeah, when a guy doesn't have enough welding cable and he's about 5 feet short, I had an old whip kicking around someone gave me that I probably didn't want. So I used this whip, and then I took the Bernard short stub off it, hooked on 2 sets of booster cables, hooked it into my other whip, and now we're cooking with gas, I tell ya. But anyhow, if you're welding stuff like this, here's a D-ring for instance. As you can see, I didn't do the best prepping job, but it's still a stack of dimes. So what that is right now is 6011 rod. Use 6011 or 6010 if you don't have a good surface, if there's paint, rust, anything like that. It's also a fast freeze rod, so it's very good for filling in holes because it cools off real fast. So what I like to do on things like this is I like to do a passive. If you're not cleaning everything up that great, or it's thin, I like to do a pass to 6010 or 6011. Use 10 if you're running a DC machine, run 11 if you're running an AC machine. And then I like to cap it with 7018. So for the 10 or 11, I like to run it downhand. It runs downhand no problem because there's very little slag on it and it digs like crazy, that rod. So run it down, but then when you run your 18, run it up. Otherwise the slag is going to fall down into your pool. I have seen guys run 18 down that were actually decent on it, and they long arc it and kind of just let it fall on the ground, but I don't do it that way. But yeah, so that's what I do. And then let your weld cool a little bit before you start hammering on it. I see so many guys just starting to beat the shit out of it with their chipping hammer while it's still hot, and they just make it look like crap. Plus the flux doesn't come off good till it cools a little bit. So once it stops glowing red, you can probably just chip it right on the side like that and it'll fall right off. If the flux is hard to get off, that means the weld is probably crappy. And another thing with welding is if it sounds good, the weld probably will be good. If it sounds horrible, it'll probably be crow shit. But all these new machines, as far as I'm concerned, are overrated. I can do a nice bead with a machine from the 40s. It's 99% operator, not the machine itself. So I'll cap her with some 18 and I'll show you how she looks. Alright, I did the top with 18. It's still covered in slag right now. So I ran this up, and this up. If you're starting out welding or you're doing position, a smaller rod is probably easier to control, like a 332 rod. If you don't have a remote, another trick, run 332/18 and run 1/8 6010 or 6011 and keep it around 90 amps, and you can use one rod to the other without changing your heat. But yeah, we'll see how she looks underneath. Now, if I hit that with a buffing wheel, it would look perfect, but that's how she should look. Just like a stack of dimes. So you can see how 18 looks quite nice. Underneath is 10. 10 will never look as good. 18 looks good. It's a capping rod. It doesn't penetrate much, but it's very strong and it's great for vibration. So anyhow, if I hit her with a wire wheel, it will look like a machine did it. So yeah, anyhow, for anyone burning stick, hopefully this helps you out. You know, a lot of people spend a lot of money on a welder. I just like a 110 MIG machine for anything thin, and anything that's that machine can't do, I stick it and I never have a problem. It worked good for, 100 years. So don't reinvent the wheel. All right, till next time.